I haven't had any hard times except for recently. And my wife's been laid off due to the fact that everything's happening in the country and everything. And I am a practicing artist. And
when hard things happen in my life, it's music, beautiful, beautiful, deep, meaningful music, and poetry that pull me through.
I just got into one of the hardest, prestigious shows down in Prescott, Arizona. And in fact, when I got the envelope and I felt it was kind of thick, so you know that you're accepted at that time. And I said, geez, I don't know if I can do it. We're really short on money and everything else, but we're making it do.
Well, I think that what the arts do for me in hard times is allow me to deconstruct the moment and to be able to analyze each of those pieces.
Well, I think that it all comes back to what I just read today about how a lot of times you can't express something in words the way you can in art. And
it transforms completely the whole view of the world.
The arts have helped me understand other people in hard times.
Well, it has to be all about teenage angst and rock and roll.
Hard times for me usually have a tendency to stress me out, and I get closed in this little box, and arts allows me to express and think about things and become creative about what I do in the problem solving, and that's kind of how art has helped me.
Well, I'd have to relay a very recent, very current, ongoing story of us facing very severe budget cuts and affecting the arts. And one thing that's helped me, and I've mentioned this several times, is that I'm playing the piano for one of our high school musical productions. And it's really helped me stay connected with the kids and stay connected with music. And I think it's going to help me get through this challenging time.
It allows me to relax, allows me to remain focused, allows me to get some negative vibes out in a positive way, and it makes me feel good.
It's kind of difficult for me to give a specific example, but I guess just kind of in my daily life and my everyday experiences, I use the arts for catharsis.
Well, I think we live in crazy times, which is not unusual. I think all societies go through crazy times all the time. But I try to do something creative, if not every day, almost every day, whether it's photography or playing my guitar, or taking photographs, or dancing. And it keeps me sane. It's part of being a balanced person.
I wouldn't have an education in anything if it weren't for art. I never would have made it through high school, let alone college, let alone graduate school. Art has been there. I can't live without it.
You know, that's interesting because I first flash back to my divorce, and I flash back to jobs that I've gotten and lost and been hired and rehired, and they've been arts jobs, of course, and I find my soul is refreshed through classical music. And the weird thing about that is sometimes music that I first heard in, oh gosh, preschool, that I became acquainted again in college, music that I first played as a bass player in college or graduate school, I'll hear again and I'll be taken back to those times, those very happy times of college and graduate school that we all have. And it's just like a refreshing moment that washes all over me.
The arts got me employed.
Well, personally, I made it through divorce thanks to art.
I was slated to do a geneticist program, and I was a junior in high school, and my parents couldn't afford to send us to college, so I was able to get a scholarship, and we had to do a cadaver training, and could not do it. Could not do it at all, and my dad was nervous. He couldn't get me to school, and went to a jazz competition, did an audition, got in through a full scholarship to sing at UNC, so thanks to them I'm the only sibling that got to go to college and do something like I'm doing today. So it was a door opener for me, and I haven't looked back since. since.
I grew up in a very poor area in Kentucky, and the town that I grew up in was flooded when I was a sophomore in high school, and my school was condemned, and I graduated by going to an unair-conditioned church, and I had the greatest art teacher in the world who taught us with simple things, pencil, paper, and how to think creatively and outside of the box. That it's not all the materials that you have, but learning to think critically and creatively.
But the chance to work together as a team, doing a production, making a film, pulling together a concert, even walking through an exhibit. There's something about the community value of simply participating. Is anybody going to get rich in the arts? Yeah, a few will. But most of us are just going to be enriched in the arts.
I think that when I started becoming a teacher myself, I really looked at kids as what they had just in themselves and not the materials around them. And we're so material and we think about all the things that we have to be able to create art, but I try to teach kids how to create art with what's in their head.
The arts have gotten me through hard times when I have felt like there were no words to describe a feeling or no words to provide a solution, whereas with the arts and drawing and painting and being able to express myself through the art has given me a voice when I had no words.
I'm 30 years old now, and 9 years ago when I was 21 I actually had open heart surgery, and I'm a ceramic artist, I'm a potter, and I remember like a week before my surgery I just had this need to like just go into the studio and create like 50 pots, different sizes, shapes, just total outpouring of creative energy. And I did that on purpose, I think, because once I went through surgery, I knew it would be about 6 weeks before I'd be able to get back into the studio. And so I knew that by creating pots, just fresh, you know, hadn't been fired or anything, that it would give me that incentive to really get back into the studio and get them fired and glazed and finished. So I think it actually really sped my healing along, so it's great.
I do also art with disposables, and it's a way to help everybody do something good from our trash.
Well, the arts aren't just for hard times, they're for all times, and you know, it's just part of your life, and you need it, everyone needs it.
I was 10 years old, almost 10 years old, and my father died. And my father used to love to see me dance. And I took dance lessons the whole time growing up. And the afternoon before his funeral, I went out in our backyard and I just danced for Daddy.
I wasn't expecting to be divorced, but suddenly I was. It had taken me completely by surprise. I had no idea what to do with myself, and it occurred to me that I could take up something with my hands. So I learned how to crochet and designed and crocheted a bedspread for my mom.
In society, when you're going through a hard time, just as a whole, it's really important for every person to have a voice and to be able to express it in an avenue that is key to them, that is easiest for them to express themselves in that way.
My aunt was Down syndrome, and every time she had an issue or a problem or she was back in the hospital trying to be worked on, we always did art activities together, and just being able to work through what she was working through kind of helped me get the idea that, oh, well, this is a way that I can work through a lot of things as well.
I'm trying really hard to think of a connection between art and hard times, and I can't do it. To me, the arts are about happy times, and I think of weddings, and I think of falling in love, and I think of raising my children and how art was so important to them. Their piano lessons, their voice performances at school, I really can't make that connection, and I think in the end that's a good thing. To me, it's all about art means good times, and that's why it's so important to my life, to my children's life, and to everyone's life.
I feel like I'm not a very articulate person, and so my language is art.
So no matter what it is, it could be the smallest thing, folding a piece of paper into a design, whatever it is. It takes you away from the everyday minutiae of life to create something unique that you can share.
Well, right now, I'm keeping my spirit up